Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about in terms of some major adoption that's happening around the world, as well as some other updates as well. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump into this video, I just want to ask if you guys are new to the channel, definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and turn notifications on, as it does help the channel grow immensely, and I do greatly appreciate it. Now, in terms of what is happening throughout the market, we're seeing a lot of assets kind of pumping, and I know that it is annoying to see XRP kind of sit stable, but I just want to let you guys know that we still have some time until XRP really kind of jumps out. In fact, I just want to let you guys know, okay, that in terms of the lengthening cycle, we're not expecting the same exact time point for it to hit these all-time highs in, for an example, January. This is not the point where XRP is going to top out at. No. In fact, in terms of the base point patterns, if we go back to 2013 and 2014, specifically the all-time high, right? And we zoom in here, we topped out on the 3rd of December, actually, back in 2013. This is where we topped out at. Okay, and we topped out on 2017 and 2018 3 days, or 1 month and 3 days later on January 6th. Okay, so technically speaking, our topping point would be somewhere around the February time point. We are not going to have the same topping point. I don't think that we're going to shorten the cycle where we pretty much top out on, in November. I think that that's illogical. But it's more so we pretty much lengthen this a little bit. Most assets pretty much topping out at possibly the Q1 or Q2 of 2022. So that's exactly what I at least am looking forward to seeing. But we obviously have to watch the market and pretty much trade what the market is telling us, not what our brains are telling us from a pattern standpoint. But I will say this: I think that we're ranging on to have a massive parabolic show for XRP. XRP usually runs last. I'm sorry if you guys have to hear that from me. I know that there's a lot of YouTubers out there pretty much telling you guys about XRP every single day of the year. But obviously, I've always expressed that XRP is an OG laggard. It will run last. That's why we always make profit on other assets and pretty much bleed them into XRP. Of course, my XRP bag is still fairly large. I'm just saying you could also make money on other assets to really kind of flow into XRP because it does run last. Now, before we fully jump in this video, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys want to get my personal XRP exit strategy on where my current targets are, you guys could do so on NCashOfficial.com. I have a ton of other insights and stuff like that on this website as well. And of course, the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack, not because it is the highest priced product on the site, is the best deal for your buck, because it does include everything on the website as well as all feature products for free. So definitely, if you guys are interested into something like that, check it out. Of course, you guys are not obligated to purchase anything. Now, in terms of your top 5 holdings for the next 10 years, okay, because Kevin Cage is asking, if you had to choose 5 crypto assets to hold for the next 10 years, what would it be? And that will still be here, of course. Mention those down below, because we're talking about regulations being in the space at least by that point, and a lot of those other assets that we're talking about, Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, and stuff like that, they might not even be here anymore. So mention your top 5 holdings for the next 10 years that you could hold in long term and not worry about. My top 5 are XRP, HBAR, Casper, QNT, and of course ALBT. And I'm curious to know your guys' top 5 at least. So comment those down below. I'd love to hear it. Now, we do see here Circle's new Singapore hub to enhance USDC use in Asia. Tether seems to be a regional favorite, but regulated Circle wants to change that. Now, in my personal agenda, I do think that USDC is better than USDT in terms of how I use it. I use USDC on a daily basis, especially with Uniswap and ERC20 tokens, to really kind of save a lot of fees in terms of gas fees. But also, I just don't like USDT. I don't really like anything Tether, ever since the overall speculation with Tether pretty much kind of just creating Tether out of nowhere. It's not backed by anything, so I think USDC is more legitimate in my mind. Of course, anybody's opinion is completely different on that, but that's just my overall opinion. Now, we do see our Circle announced today that it is building out its Asia hub in Singapore in conjunction with the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Circle began hiring across Asia earlier this year as USDC gains market share against the dominant player, Tether. Now, in terms of this, I do think that Singapore in general is becoming a crypto hub. Okay, Singapore, for the longest time that I can remember, has been not only disrupting the entire scene, but also accepting and adopting crypto at such a rapid pace. And we even see this within the Ripple and XRP community, and I think that this is also incredible to see. Now, the next article I do not have access to because I'm not paying for, an article to read it. But we also see here, right, Google invests $1 billion in exchange giant CME strikes cloud deal, right? Now, obviously, like I said, we can't read this, but I just want to say right now, in terms of what Google is doing, we know that Google is a GC member within the Hedera Hashgraph scene, and in terms of what Google is doing with a lot of these cloud-based deals, right? First off, let's talk about some cloud-based deals. We know that crypto could be stored on the cloud. It's not a possibility just yet, but we know that that is an innovative technology that we're seeing, being brought up in conversation. Could that be a big thing, or could that be the next big thing to kind of accommodate for a lot of, energy efficiency, right? Could we see cloud mining at some point in time? I think that that could be interesting. Don't know how it would work properly just yet, but I do know that a few people have brought that question up. But nonetheless, I still think that a lot of these top tier companies moving into the crypto scene is still good. We've seen, Apple join in on the fun. We've seen Google joining in on the fun. We've know that, Amazon Web Services has been in the game for a fairly long time. And I just think that it's great to see that this market has been evolving and evolving in time. From even 2013 to 2017, we've seen a big change. But now from 2017 to now, and even going back to 2013 to now, this scene is extremely different. But I don't need to tell you guys that. You obviously understand that. Now, in terms of this, we also see, cities now having their own city coins. We actually see New York City getting its own city coin, which is funny because we know before it was sort of a negative aspect on crypto in New York City. But of course, with its new mayor, we do see that this is now a crypto friendly city, and they are getting their own coin. It's called New York City coin. Of course, all the profits that are mined, it's non-profit, so it allocates 30% of its reward to the city. And we actually seen Miami coin gain or earn more than $21.3 million for the city, and I think that this is good. I think that this is actually incredible to see. And like I said, with Web 3.0, with a lot of adoption happening with crypto, it's only a matter of time before we are in a utility grade market, and of course that will happen at some point in time. It's just going to take a little bit more time ultimately, but once we do get to that point, man, is it going to be fun to hold some of these assets, especially XRP. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about tokenization. I'm not going to read you guys this whole article because that would just be extremely boring. Just know that tokenization is coming to DLTs with stablecoins and so much more. But check out some of these assets that could be tokenized. Physical objects such as fine art and collectibles, precious metals like gold and silver, real assets such as real estate, intangible assets such as equities, bonds, and mutual funds. Other ones such as licenses, patents, copyrights, and intellectual property as well, unlisted physical securities. Now with this, we also see security token offerings, stable coins, and then of course CBDCs. Now, I'm surprised that they don't have data listed here because I suppose that that's unlisted physical securities possibly, but either way, data is essentially the new oil. Constellation or DAG has proven that. I think that with data being tokenized, I think that that's going to be very innovative as well. I think that that's going to be disruptive because being able to transfer data from one individual to another as a token, I think that that's going to, pretty much increase the adoption in the tokenization space. And I think that this is going to grow in terms of Web 3.0 adoption. And also when we're talking about the stock markets, this is essentially getting to the point where the stock market or the entire stock exchange will be tokenized at some point in time. So, this is huge. Now, I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about this. So, Ripple's ODL liquidity hub is what the world has been waiting for. Obviously, with a lot of those government, officials, they've been dreading this, but Ripple, we're anticipating a public API to plug all of us into the hub. It runs on the XRP ledger, all of the benefits of DLT, trustless, secure, immutable, plus specific benefits of the XRP ledger, such as the speed, 3.5 seconds full settlement, and negligible fees to prevent DDoS. And there's a ton of other, pretty much, opportunities within this space. But I think that this hub is huge. And when we're talking about this, we always go back to the liquidity hub or the interledger protocol, which essentially will be all the money factor, and I've talked about this, but I think that this is great to see. And obviously, like when we're talking about this, I've talked about this for the last 2 days, and I just want to tell you guys that this is so much bigger than what most people think. And when we're talking about Nasdaq saying 2 top cryptocurrencies to buy for the long haul, and this came out literally yesterday, mind you, the 2 assets that they're mentioning is 88 and Ripple. Why do you think that they're mentioning XRP here? Okay, within the United States, we know that XRP is being stifled. We know that it's being talked about in a negative aspect because, of course, the SEC wants to prove that, they're right. They have an ego behind them. But ultimately, we know that XRP is being disruptive around the world. We know that, with all the products that they are launching, they're doing incredible things. Now, in terms of what they're saying in this article, we're seeing Ripple is a blockchain network that facilitates cross-border transactions through its native token XRP, of course, right? I'm not going to talk to you guys too much about this because obviously, like I said, it's boring. In fact, we're going to be talking more so about this. We see, according to the data from Research and Markets, the global digital remittance market, typically immigrants sending money to friends and family in their home country, is expected to expand at a compound annual rate of 13.3% to $42 billion by 2028 as globalization and migration drive the need for financial connectivity. Now, Ripple can capture a chunk of this growth because of its ultra-low transaction cost and almost instant transfer fees compared to one of the 5 working days or transfer times, not fees, working days for a traditional bank transfer. Now, of course, they're talking about the overall innovative, pretty much, stats behind it. They're talking about some, overall partnerships with these major banks, investing for the long haul. They're talking about pretty much a lot of these assets and, pretty much where they can go. But why now mention Ripple and XRP? I mean, this is interesting nonetheless. I mean, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. But I still think that this is, pretty interesting nonetheless. And like I said, any sort of publicity for XRP in terms of the public eye is fairly welcoming, considering the fact that we don't see that a lot right now with everything that's been happening in the world with the SEC. So, but again, at the end of the day, we do see here XRP has been recognized as a currency or utility token in a variety of jurisdictions, including the UK, Japan, and many other places around the world in terms of Switzerland and Singapore. Now, check out all of the other places that it is a security and not a security. Pretty interesting, huh? I mean, listen, when we're talking about what's happening, we know that the SEC has been overstepping their boundaries for a fairly long time into crypto, and I do think that it is only a matter of time before XRP really gets to the point where it's no longer stifled by the SEC. And I think that when we're talking about this entire SEC lawsuit, it's going to be one massive catalyst event to push us into a massive price appreciation sort of area. And I'm very excited for that as well. Honestly, anybody who is in XRP should be excited for the future of it because it has a ton of upside potential, and we don't need to, read a Nasdaq article to understand the long-term growth of this. Even the short-term growth is going to be extremely interesting to really kind of watch for. So I'm very excited for, what's about to happen. If we do top out sometime in Q1 or Q2 of 2022, that is extremely welcoming in my mind. Like I said, we don't have to pay taxes for 1 whole year if that does happen. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.